From Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, this is Sports Bash presented by Ticketbash.com. Ticketbash.com, where memories are made affordable and where you'll never pay a service fee. Sports Bash is also presented by the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund, a group of like-minded individuals trying to raise awareness to our future generations of all possibilities of success other than just college. For more information, visit www.lookwhomadeit.org. Sports Bash is brought to you by the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Every customer is considered family at Embassy Diner. Mention Sports Bash, get that free, delicious, mouth-watering, delectable dessert with your meal. By Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles in Rockville Center, Long Island's go-to store for sports, entertainment, and political memorabilia since 1996. And by the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media. For more information, go to martylyonsfoundation.org. Stay tuned later in the show. We'll tell you about the 5th annual Marty Lyons Foundation NFL Draft Party. Well, hi again, everyone. I am Peter Schwartz. Happy Thursday. More importantly, happy opening day. It is the official opening day of the Major League Baseball season. Now, of course, you had those 2 fakakta games in Japan earlier this week. I don't consider that opening day. I consider today opening day because it takes place in North America, not in some other fakakta country. So I like the fact. Now, if they wanted to play these games in Japan during the season, I still don't like it, but I understand it. So why you have to open the season in Japan, beyond me. Play it during the season. Let the teams go to London during the season. You're nodding your head again. Tony, can we, Tony Walker, the host of the Knock 'em Dead Comedy Club, Knock 'em Dead comedy show that's on before us, weekdays 11 to 12:30. Can we get, going forward, something like a neck brace for Wiz?
See, now I'm scared to nod. I have to actually answer you because if I just nod, I'd get in trouble.
Well, no, you're not going to get in trouble. It's just this is just like a recurring issue.
I think he should throw a quarter in a jar every time he nods.
A quarter in a jar.
We can make some money. We could buy some lunch at Embassy Diner.
Absolutely. Well, we really don't have to buy food there. Sure. They always bring it over, and good sponsor of the program. But yes, I don't like these fakakta games starting the season in Japan. But so today is opening day. And what that means for everyone, and by the way, 516-465-3990, the number to call. Make sure you're subscribing to Govs Comedy Club podcast on Sports Bash Media and YouTube, and following on Facebook and Instagram. Also follow Sports Bash Media on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Coming up on the show, we'll talk some football. The head coach of the New York Dragons, as hired by myself, Gerald Filardi, will join us. We have on set with us the first and so far only official New York Dragons football, a prototype that was created for the logo reveal last month, and we used it at the press conference the other day to introduce Coach. So we brought it on set with us here, and it will stay with me here for the duration of the show. But we'll start with baseball, and it is opening day, not the phony opening day from Japan. It's the real opening day. And for the Yankees and the Mets, it is, it's a celebration for the Yankees and the Mets today, in a sense, because like opening day is special, no matter how you slice it. It's the day everybody looks forward to. Spring training starts, and you just want to get through spring training and get the season underway, and that's the excitement. And for the Mets, there'll be a double opening day because they'll have their home opener next week. So they get 2 opening days out of it. They get their season opener today and their home opener next week. And for the Yankees, it all starts today at 3 o'clock against the Brewers at Yankee Stadium. We'll start with the Mets because obviously they had all of the offseason headlines here in New York for the most part, and the good headlines, and that was bringing Juan Soto in, taking him from the Yankees, and bringing back Pete Alonso. Now, there is excitement that the Mets can get to the World Series. the excitement has been tempered a little bit, in my opinion, because of the pitching staff. Sean Manaea is going to be out for a little bit. When I look at the Mets, though, I see a playoff team. I do. Before Sean Manaea got hurt, and still not knowing what the rest of the rotation looks like, I felt like the Mets were just a little bit short in contending for a division title. Now, again, that doesn't mean a hill of beans when you get to October, as long as you get in the tournament. The Mets are living proof of it from last year, getting in on the last day, shocking the Brewers in the wild card round, and then getting to the NLCS. So it can happen. Your path to the World Series, your path to a championship, does not necessarily have to include a division title. But it's nice. It's nice, obviously. You like to hang the banner. But I think the Mets are a playoff team. But like we've discussed here on the show, and we talked about it yesterday with Pat McCarthy, that pitching staff might be just a little bit late. You would think David Stearns will make some moves as the Mets would need him. And maybe the Mets come up with a surprise. Maybe there's someone that comes up from AAA that they call upon. David Peterson could pitch lights out, and it fills the void a little bit. I think a lot's expected of him. And Kodai Senga, we talked about it with Pat yesterday on the show. If he is any semblance of his form before getting hurt, that's a huge thing for the Mets too. We only saw, a little small sampling when he came back in the playoffs, when he was less than, thrilling when he came back in the playoffs. But obviously he'll be looked upon to be a big, key for the Mets. Francisco Lindor, obviously the heart and soul of the Mets right now. He should be named the team captain. Remember, we joked yesterday on the show. And if you're saying, why were you on yesterday? And if you missed it, we obviously were not on Tuesday because I had some business to take care of with the Dragons. So we were on at 4 o'clock yesterday. And we had Pat McCarthy on, the one of the radio voices of the Mets. Francisco Lindor should be the captain of the Mets. I don't even think you have to be a Met fan to understand that. Now, whether they shock him in his locker today and the C is on his jersey, or they say he's going to be the captain, Pat didn't think that was going to happen. That would be pretty cool, though, if Francisco Lindor showed up, and maybe it's already happened. I don't know. I checked Twitter before I came into the studio, and there's been nothing about it. But he's the heart and soul. And he got off to a bad start last year, and remember, his Met career did not get off to a very good start. And people were questioning, the Mets, they were negotiating against themselves when they traded for him and signed him to that big contract. But right now, he's worth every penny because of what he means to that team. So, look, I like the Mets. I think they're going to be fun to watch. I think they'll be in it. If they make some moves, look, nothing's impossible. They could win the division if they make some moves and, guys outperform their contracts and play better than the back of their baseball cards. I mean, that could happen 100%. But no matter what, the bottom line is you get in the playoffs. That's it. Sports is so different now than it was years ago. All you have to do, it's kind of like the lottery. You got to be in it to win it. You get in, who knows what can happen. Hey, NFL teams have gotten in as the last wild card with no home games, and they have gone on to win a Super Bowl. So that's all on the line here. So I think when you're looking for predictions, and we'll do official predictions in the last segment later on. We already got a preview off the air beforehand. Wiz got on his soapbox. What was that look you just gave me? He gave me a look like he was... Did you see that?
I did.
Like a death stare. He gave me a death stare. Wow. Did I annoy you that much?
No.
Okay. We'll get like official Met and Yankee predictions because I don't care about the rest of Major League Baseball. I care about the Mets and the Yankees. Well, let me flip that around. I care about the Yankees and the Mets. I got to move the microphone because the microphone is blocking the logo on my Yankee shirt. What should I do, Tony? Should I move the microphone over to this side and move the football over here?
I think it's perfect where it is.
You think it's... I was doing fine until you made me start laughing. Let's see. If I move it here, there we go. That's better, right? Now Tony's going to try to block it again.
No, I'm turning your volume up.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
There you go. Yeah,
all right. Now it's fine. As long as you can see the interlocking NY. Good. Now I feel better now. Speaking of which, it brings us to the Yankees. Excuse me. Damn it.
See, the Yankees make you choke.
Well, they did in Game 5 last year in the World Series, that's for sure. I'm torn on how to feel about the Yankees. Obviously, I Wiz asked me off the air what I think. I think the Yankees will still win the AL East. But obviously, this is a team that's got issues. And look, you lose Gerald Cole for a whole year. That's huge. But even more so than that, no Luis Gil for the foreseeable future. You don't know when he's going to come back. So the Yankees' starting rotation is taking a little bit of a hit here. Not a little bit, a lot of hit. You lose a Cy Young Award winner. You lose the defending American League Rookie of the Year. That's a big hit. Clark Schmidt was banged up a little bit in spring training, so you don't know what he's going to bring to the table. I like Clark. I think he's going to do well. Hopefully he can stay healthy. And Carlos Carrasco made the Yankees, and he'll be in the rotation, the former Met. And, he had a good spring, earned himself a roster spot. And the Yankees' bullpen I think it's going to be lights out. And as I said with Emmanuel Barbari yesterday, if the Yankees can get a lead and get to the sixth and seventh inning with that lead, Yankees aren't going to blow too many games because their closer who blew games last year is now the opening day starter for the Mets, Clay Holmes. And I meant to bring that up before. I don't know if cool is the right word, but fascinating that Clay Holmes not only went to the Mets to be a starter, but is going to be their opening day starter today. And he's pitched. Listen, he's been great. And he deserves it. But I just find it fascinating how that happened so quickly. But back to the Yankees. The pitching, the starting rotations in question. Marcus Stroman was going to be traded. Before Cole got hurt and Heel got hurt, and you looked at what the Yankees did, bringing in Max Fried, and there were too many pitchers for not enough spots. And Joe Torre used to say this all the time. You can never have enough pitching. Because inevitably, somebody's going to get hurt. Inevitably, you're going to want to shut down a pitcher for a little bit. And it was a good thing the Yankees did not trade Marcus Stroman during the offseason or early in spring training. Because now he is an important part that he's not going anywhere. And all you need out of him, again, you just need Stroman to go 5 innings, give up 3 runs or less, and I think the Yankees are fine with that from him. But he was a goner. There's no question he was a goner. And now he's not. He's got to be on that roster now. And we'll see what the Yankees come up with from a starting rotation. Offensively, even with Giancarlo Stanton out, and we don't know when he's going to come back, I like this Yankee lineup. I do. I know losing Soto is a big deal, but I like the versatility that this lineup has now. I like the addition of Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Obviously, Cody Bellinger out in center field. Third base is still a question mark with what the Yankees are probably going to have a third baseman du jour until they figure it out. Maybe they make a trade during the season. We'll see. Jason Dominguez, let's see if he's the real deal. I think Yankee fans are waiting to find out what he can do, if he can stay healthy. And the thing about Dominguez is, can he play a competent left field? Not asking him to win a Gold Glove. Just don't botch those fly balls like we've seen him do. And you heard me talk about Austin Wells yesterday. I love this lineup. So I think the Yankees will win the American League East. But as of right now, they are not as good as they were last year. How could you say they are? Because they have no Cole, no Heel. Stanton is out. But I don't think much about the rest of the American League East. I know Wiz is going to disagree with me later. But I still think the Yankees, And Brian Cashman is the X factor here because he'll go out and do what he has to do to get this team, to at least make sure this team's in the playoffs. I still think the Yankees win the division. I don't think they'll get back to the World Series. As it's constituted now, we have to see what winds up happening the rest of, as the season goes along. But I think we're looking at, come October, and again, it's the most important thing, is not winning the East in either the NL or the AL. It's getting into the playoffs. And I am sitting here on March 27th at 1:15 in the afternoon, and I am telling you both the Yankees and Mets will be in the playoffs. So whether they win the division or not, they'll find their way in. And hopefully we have another fun October here in New York. That was a lot of fun last year. Well, for me it was fun until Game 5 of the World Series, but... And again, I've said it before, the Yankees did not lose that World Series in Game 5. They lost it in Games 1 and 2 because they had Game 1 in the bag. And in Game 2, they just had, left front, more runners on base than donuts I can eat in the morning. That's what it was. But are the Mets and Yankees better than they were at this, last year? Time will tell. I still think they're both playoff teams. And this is going to be a lot of fun. I will say, both teams, again, if you look at their promo schedules, I always like to talk about the external things, not just on the field, but I think both the Mets and Yankees, go online, you can look at them, but between bobbleheads and other giveaways, the Mets and Yankees always seem to outdo themselves every single year when they have these giveaways. I know there's some bobbleheads that I'm looking at. I'd like to go to the Yankee games for. The Mets have, and I'm looking to make this happen because my younger son, Gerald, wants to go on July 3rd. I think it's the Juan Soto Jersey Day, if I'm not mistaken. And it's also my father-in-law's birthday that day, July 3rd. So we're hoping to be able to go to the Met game. And the Yankees have a bunch of good promo days too. And of course, you can't have a baseball conversation on opening day without talking about the food. And we've talked about the food a lot on this show. I went to the Yankee event last week. I could not go to the Met event this year because it was on Tuesday, and that was the day we had the Dragons press conference for Gerald Filardi, who's going to join us on the show in a few minutes. But that's a big part. It's going to be the theme for the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day coming up in a few minutes. I piqued your interest there, yes. Wiz. We're gonna put that poll question out regarding food at the ballparks. It is also Stump the Wiz Day, of course, since Wiz is here, and you know that every Thursday we do Stump the Wiz. And the last couple of weeks, when we've come in, I didn't really have a feeling either way, right?
Right.
This week I have a feeling. I think you're going to get stumped.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. And how's your feeling? I mean, I asked you for the first time, how you feel coming in every week.
I'm an open book. I'm excited for today, especially because it's opening day in MLB.
Right. It's only a partial baseball question.
Okay.
It's actually a 4-part question.
That's fine.
Tony, have you seen the question yet?
No, I have not.
Flip the script.
Okay.
And I want you to take a look at the question, and you tell me if you think Wiz is going to get it.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's a tough question, right?
I'm going to say he's going to at least get 2 out of 4.
Yeah, well, that's not going to be good enough, though.
No, it's not.
No, you have to get all 4. That's not going to be good enough. But we'll see. You've surprised us many times before.
Yeah, that's true.
You've also let us down a few times before.
That's also true.
Yeah, so it's like, we rob from Peter to pay Paul sometimes. We'll see. But we have a very, very enticing gift for the person who has sent in the question today. And if he stumps the Wiz, it is a he. I kind of spilled the beans on that. We'll tell you who it is later on. But it will be a very, very nice gift if he stumps you. We'll find out.
Okay, let's see.
We'll find out. In the meantime, before we get to that, football business to take care of when we come back, we're going to talk to the head coach of your New York Dragons, Gerald Filardi, when we come back with more Sports Bash right after this. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage.
Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles is the best place to find autographed entertainment and sports memorabilia. We guarantee the authenticity of each and every item in our shop to provide you with quality collectibles anytime you browse our inventory. Our memorabilia includes autographed photos, sports equipment, jerseys, hats, and other paraphernalia from current athletes and legendary sports stars. If you prefer the entertainment industry, we have signed posters, albums, and photographs from classic movie stars and today's celebrities. To give back to our community, we participate in fundraising auctions for local charities. Call us today to request a specific autograph, find a special gift for someone else, or schedule an event. Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles.
Welcome back to Sports Bash here on Govs Comedy Club Radio, YouTube, and Facebook. We're presented by TicketBash.com. Happy Thursday. Happy opening day again to everybody. I'm Peter Schwartz. We will table the baseball conversation for just a moment. Tuesday was a big day for the New York Dragons, and I was very excited, proud as the general manager of the team to finally spill the beans. I think some people kind of got a feeling because they saw him at our first two press conferences, but we were finally able to reveal that our head coach for the 2025 season, from the also the head coach of the Half Hollow Hills West football team, we welcome in Gerald Filardi. Gerald, it's Peter. How are you, sir?
Hey, Peter, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm sure you are as excited as I was to introduce you, to be introduced as the head coach of the Dragons the other day. Just your thoughts on the events the other day and how excited you are for this venture.
Yes, very excited. I thought it was a great event. I appreciate the turnout, and the response has been great. So I'm extremely honored and excited to be the head coach of the new New York Dragons.
The new New York Dragons. And before we go forward, let's go backwards a little bit, because as you know, I was the radio voice of the original New York Dragons. And for yourself, growing up on Long Island, playing football here on Long Island, coaching football here on Long Island, you knew exactly what the Dragons were all about from 2001 to 2008. What are your best memories of the old Dragons, and how it helped inspire kids growing up playing football here on Long Island?
Yeah, I think it's a great platform. Obviously, back then, I missed kind of that era, but was a fan. I was kind of at the end of my career, and so just getting to watch some of those guys. I was at a different stage in my life, but getting to watch those guys and seeing that a platform that projected some guys to advance their careers into other leagues, and just to play and represent New York and Long Island football.
And that's the thing too, is that people who poo-poo arena football or other spring leagues, they don't realize, in the NFL, there's only a certain number of players that can make it to the National Football League. But even The Rock has pointed this out, with the XFL and the UFL. There's just that next group of guys that they're good enough to play pro football, but just not quite ready for the roster to be on an NFL team. And the spring football leagues, whether it's the Arena Football League back in the day or the other indoor football leagues now, like we are in now with the Entertainment Football Association, to give these players who still are hungry to play professional football, how important is that? And you were a player, obviously, and you were looking for that opportunity. And there's so many good football players that don't get that chance in the NFL. And with these spring leagues, they get that chance now.
Absolutely. I think it's a great platform. I think it's a needed platform. When I was playing back in the day, same thing. There was arena football. There was actually, I got drafted to what was called the RFL, Regional Football League. So just to have that opportunity, like you said, the NFL is the ultimate, where everybody's trying to get in, but there are only so many jobs. But there are very good football players that are not in the NFL and not playing. And to be able to give them a platform to project them, if that's what they choose to do, we're helping them. So I'm football. I'm football for Long Island and New York. So the more platforms and the more places to play, this is a great opportunity for them.
You know, you had a taste in the NFL with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You also had a taste of playing arena football with the Albany Firebirds. So you're familiar with the sport. You follow the sport. And I remember, when I was calling Dragons games, there was one season in 2002, former Giant and Florida State quarterback Danny Cannell played for the Dragons for a short time, and he called it football on steroids. For yourself, you've had a little taste of it and you've seen it. What are your overall thoughts on the indoor game and how it helps players maybe get back to the outdoor game at some point?
Yeah, it's it's football, but it's a different brand of football. It's an exciting game of football. But I think for the positions, obviously not having 11 on 11, so limited on the linemen, but for the skill part of the game, which nowadays is a big part of it. You don't see the fullback much anymore in football, and that kind of blocking tight end or H-back. So the game is changed at that level. So for arena, it was, in my day, I played linebacker, so it was smash mouth football. So it was linebacker on fullback, which I liked. I enjoyed it, but a little bit different nowadays, a little bit more exciting and explosive in the arena league.
Now, would you have, when you were playing arena football, I know it was for a short time, but for yourself as a linebacker, would you have preferred to have been the MAC linebacker that had to stay in the box, or would you have liked to have been the Jack linebacker that was able to blitz and try and sack the quarterback?
The MAC. I like the MAC staying in, just reading the run and trying to smash mouth. So that was my spot. I like that.
Gerald Filardi is the head coach of the New York Dragons, and he is joining us here on Sports Bash. He is also the head coach of the Half Hollow Hills West High School football team. He has done that since 2019. But overall, he's responsible for growing youth football here on Long Island with the Spartans and with Long Island Elite. When did it click into you, Gerald, that you wanted to be instrumental in growing football on Long Island, particularly at the youth level?
Yeah, pretty much came from I have three boys, and I was blessed that they took interest in the sport and wanted to play it. So there was a short period where I was kind of just sitting on the sideline as a dad, and then just saw, how things were run and said, anything I can do to help and volunteer at that time. That kind of evolved my coaching. I never really looked to coach or sought out to coach. I felt like I was, when I graduated, I went to the business world. So the coaching path is a different path. So I'm kind of coming in on a different angle. Usually guys that have made it, they started out as GAs and they went up the ranks, so to speak. So that's why I'm grateful to have this opportunity with the Dragons coming from where I came from. But I've learned to coach. I've enjoyed to coach and I'm passionate about it. So, and the most important thing to me with LIE, Long Island Elite Football 495, is basically raising the level of football on Long Island. So that's our premise. That's our mission, and that comes in different ways. So how we're set up on Long Island, from the high schools, from the middle schools to the youth football, and just trying to develop young football players and young men ultimately, because as a coach, that's what you're doing. You're teaching the game of football, but through the game of football, you're teaching life, and that's important to me.
I can't remember football on Long Island being bigger than it is now, and maybe has been over the last 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, it's always been a prominent sport on Long Island, but I think in terms of the athletes that are coming out of Long Island, the notoriety that high school and even college football gets on Long Island, I don't think it's ever been bigger. Is there something you could put your finger on as to why there's been this explosion in the interest and the talent that has come out of Long Island in recent years? Because you look around other parts of the country, Florida, down in Georgia, out west, even New Jersey has always sprung out some great college football players. But it seems like in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years here on the island that the sport has really taken off at the youth and the high school level, and it's meant more players than ever before getting to the highest levels.
Yeah, I think creating more opportunities to play the game, and to play the game not necessarily year round, but just to develop as a football player. With Long Island Elite, I feel we've put a platform out there for them, and there's others. We're football guys, no egos, everything's set aside. It's about the kids and developing them for football. So any football on Long Island, we're for, we promote, we help, organize, whatever it may be. So I think the culture is starting to change a little bit, which is what we like. And that's the biggest thing, is you have the culture of football where, towns are shutting down in Texas. Towns are shutting down in the Midwest, in Ohio. And we've always seen that. We've been there. We've seen it. And we say, why not here? Why not with us? And I think bringing Long Island together and developing those football players and making it a priority. And I don't knock other sports. I'm a fan. My boys play lacrosse and soccer, and there's basketball, there's baseball. I'm a big sports fan, just like you. I think sports in any form or shape is great, especially for the youth. But I have to agree with you. I think we're making a difference. And now with the Dragons being back on Long Island and playing here for the youth fans to come and see a brand of football is going to be exciting. So it's one of the biggest things that I'm happy and excited to be a part of.
No question about it. Gerald Filardi, head coach of the New York Dragons, my guest here on Sports Bash. So let's talk about the Dragons. And to our point about Long Island football. When I was interviewing with the league for the GM job, and they were asking me about my vision for the franchise, I could only think about the New York Riptide lacrosse team leaving Long Island after last season. And you talk about football being popular on the island. I mean, there is no bigger hotbed for lacrosse than right here on Long Island. And I couldn't fathom over the 4 years the Riptide played at the Coliseum that there was never more than just one player from Long Island on the team. The last year they played last season, there were 0 players from Long Island on the team. There were no coaches from Long Island on the team. It didn't seem to resonate. And I had a lot of, and I'm involved with, because, my son Bradley, who not only plays football and still plays football in college, but he also played lacrosse. So I had a chance to interact with a lot of lacrosse coaches, high school coaches on the island, and they didn't want to be bothered with the Riptide because there was nobody from Long Island. So when I started talking to the league about this job as general manager, I'm like, we have to take this in a completely different direction, and this team should be all about Long Island. And my first inclination is obviously to hire a Long Island head coach, which I did with you. And then I was very happy that you shared the vision that I had, that most, if not all, of our roster should be comprised of Long Island players. And I think if you tried to do that 10 years ago, it probably doesn't work, because there probably aren't, as many players good enough to play professional football from the island 10 years ago as there are now. So
right.
That's the vision right here, that what we're trying to put together with the Dragons is a team that represents the island, a team that represents New York, because there are some great players that have come from the island, went to college, and are now back and ready to be on our team.
Yes, agree. We obviously share the same vision. I'm football, Long Island, New York, through and through. And I feel, that's part of it, even running the youth organizations and making people understand, like, we have talent here. And now you're seeing it. We got guys playing at the college level, at the highest level, and at all levels. And I tell kids that they want to go to play Division I football or FBS, but say any brand of football that you play at any level, the day is the same. It's 24/7 football.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're playing good football wherever you go, whatever division it is, and you have a love for the game you're playing for. As for the Dragons, we have that talent. And I think we're going to be able to showcase that talent of guys that have been born and raised on Long Island, played their football, and now have either played it on Long Island or are coming back and are back here to play football for the New York Dragons. So I'm excited about that, and I do think we have the talent to compete and go and be a championship contender.
So you've been up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week since you accepted the job, and you've been putting together that database of players. So I guess it's a good time as any to ask the question. No pressure, of course. But what kind of team do you envision the Dragons turning out to be?
I think we're going to be pretty close, if not all, Long Island and New York players, and that's what we're doing. I think there are some outsides that we'll see that'll come to the tryout and see how they develop and what they'll bring. But yeah, it's exciting. Some of the names, believe it or not, are some kids that I coached when they were 9, 10, 11 years old. So it's coming full circle as well. And these guys have played at a high college level, which is exciting. That's
got to be cool for you because obviously since Tuesday when we made the announcement, and obviously our Dragon social medias, blew up, and my social media blew up. So did yours. But the overall response to you being named the coach, I mean, so many people had so many nice things to say, and obviously I couldn't tell too many people that you were the choice. But once people found out it was, the support was so overwhelming, and I know it meant a lot to me, and I can't imagine how much it meant to you.
Yeah, it means so much. I tell people this, the game of football is about people and relationships. And I'm blessed, truly blessed, for the people that have been involved on my journey and have been a part of my coaching and of my life and how much support I'm currently getting. And the former players that have reached out, parents, colleagues, coaches, it's, the congratulations. I'm truly, truly thankful for the opportunity. And, my job is to go out and represent everybody and represent Long Island. And I'm going to give everything I have 100% every day to do that.
And let's be clear. You're not leaving Half Hollow Hills West. That's still your primary football job. And I think a lot of people have asked me over the last few days, is he leaving the high school? Like, no, he's not leaving the high school. I'm telling people, and tell me if you agree with me, this is kind of like, a full-time teacher during the year, being a camp counselor during the summer.
Yeah, that's the plan. Some have asked me after last season, before this even came to fruition, if I was going to be leaving. Obviously, I coached my son. My youngest son is currently up at Syracuse playing football. He went up as a mid-year. So I got to coach him, which was great. And coaching your son, for me, was just icing on the cake. So that's not why I do it. I enjoy the game. I enjoy coaching the game. I'm passionate about it. And just to be able to coach my son and a very good football player was, like I said, was icing on the cake. But my plan was always to continue. As this position evolves, then I'll take it, one day at a time and see. But those kids are very important to me. And I took on a program in 2019, went through some COVID years, and then it wasn't a rebuild of a program, but it was just kind of putting my twist on it and learning how to be a head coach at the high school level. Knowing my background and the playing experience that I've had, the X's and O's is the easy part. It's really trying to touch young men's lives, and some of these kids will only play at the high school level. I mean, me and you can go back and and you talk to anybody, they'll talk about their high school memories, and that's important to me that they have those high school memories, especially for football memories that they played. And when you talk to anybody now, you may have one conversation. The further it gets away from their graduation, you think they won the championship. Some of these guys won, 4-4, and it was the best time of their lives. So that's a special part of me, and we have some good kids that I want to continue to coach. But it's something that I've thought about because when I do something, I'm all in on it, and I want to give my best effort. So if I can manage both, I'm going to be able to manage both. So that's the plan going forward. That's what I look to do.
So let's, as we wrap this up, let's look at the timeline that we have with the Dragons. We're going to have some open tryouts next month as you start to put the team together. You know, we're selling season tickets, we're selling group tickets, corporate partnerships are coming together. As you know, I work in the front office with Director of Operations Sean Wachter and Director of Business Development Marilyn Rich. We have put together quite an experienced front office. Now you're on as head coach, so everything is progressing nicely towards training camp in May and opening night in Danbury on June 7th.
Yeah, it's coming together. I'm extremely happy with everybody to be able to work with you guys and collaborate and build this thing from, essentially from the ground up with the new league and new ownership for Long Island. But yeah, we're planning to hang our hat hopefully somewhere, and we'll have tryout dates coming out. So we're excited to see the talent that's going to come out. I've been out. I was out at Stony Brook yesterday watching their pro day to get my eyes on some guys, maybe some potential coming out of there from local colleges. You never know. So if not now, but maybe in the future. So excited about the whole process. And
merch is dropping next week. I know a lot of people have been asking.
Yeah,
I know
I got my own.
Yeah,
my own one T-shirt that I have so far.
So that's all I have. And I almost dropped the water there. And we have the football. We have some rubber bracelets. But we're going to have the full line of merch is coming out next week. I know you're excited about it. Your wife Kim, who we met, my wife Cheryl met, and I met the other day at the press conference. We all can't wait to get those hats, the shirts, the sweatshirts. It's all coming next week. And then, before you know it, we're going to have, players signed and read. There you go. I'm looking at the video on delay. I saw you holding up the shirt there. So it's all coming together, and I can't wait to get this thing rolling and find out who's going to make up the roster. And by the way, also, and people who saw the press conference live on Instagram the other day and have seen clips, I handed you a bottle of wine when I introduced you. It was called House of Dragons. And you said something to me, and I'm going to tell everybody what you said because I agree with you because it's been my mantra since I got this job. I want to raise a banner in the Coliseum. We haven't done that since the Islanders won the Stanley Cup in 1983. So you said to me that we'll pop that thing open when we win the championship.
And we raise the banner, absolutely.
Absolutely. Gerald, thank you so much. I'm so excited. Thank you for taking the job, and I can't wait to hit the ground running with you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me on, and we'll be back to work. Lots
to do. Lots on that to-do list. Gerald Filardi, the head coach of the New York Dragons, and I'm new at this GM thing, but I only go by what other people have said, and a lot of people texted me. This was a great choice. Boomer and Gio gave it the stamp of approval yesterday on their show, so I am happy, and I can't wait to get things rolling. We're going to have some more announcements coming up in the upcoming weeks. We got the merch dropping next week. We're going to be announcing assistant coaches. We're going to be announcing player signings soon. Tony is going to try out on, I think it's going to be, the first tryout's going to be April 8th. Tony has promised he is going to try out. He wanted to be the kicker, but there's no kicking in this league, so he can't be the kicker, right?
Would have been an excellent kicker.
I think it could have been a good kicker. Well, that is the kicker to the joke, by the way. Yeah, so there you go. But I am looking forward to it. And obviously, everybody has been so supportive, and I can't wait to get this thing going. We still have lots more to do here on the program. When we come back, we're going to play Stump the Wiz. Again, I think he's going to get stumped. I think somebody is winning a really good prize. When we come back, we're going to check out This Week in Sports History. We'll have the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. It's all coming up right after this.
In 1982, the Marty Lyons Foundation began with a single heartfelt mission: to bring moments of joy and hope to critically ill children by granting wishes that make their dreams come true. Since that day, we have touched the lives of over 8,500 families, raising over $43 million to grant wishes that offer a beacon of light in their darkest times. These precious wishes cost an average of $6,700 each, and your support is crucial to our mission. Every donation, big or small, makes a difference. And with 76 cents of every dollar going directly to supporting our families, you can rest assured your support truly changes lives. The The Marty Lyons Foundation operates 11 chapters in 14 states now, working tirelessly to reach as many children as we can. This dedication goes hand in hand with our commitment to transparency and accountability, earning us top ratings on Charity Navigator, Great Nonprofits, and Candid, which underscores our dedication to those we serve. The Marty Lyons Foundation grants wishes to children ages 3 to 17. And what really makes this foundation so special is our willingness to grant not only a first wish, but also consider a second wish to a child who continues to battle a life-threatening illness. We stand by these children, offering them hope and strength through the power of dreams, giving our children the courage to wish for more.
What's your purpose in life? Is your purpose in life to live in the big house and drive the nice car? No. Your purpose in this life is to make it a little bit better for those that follow and realize that we live for today to see a better tomorrow.
Visit MartyLyonsFoundation.org to learn more and get involved.
Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com and the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund. I'm Peter Schwartz. We thank Gerald Filardi, the head coach of the New York Dragons, and also still the head coach of Half Hollow Hills West High School. They had a terrific season last year again, getting to the playoffs in Suffolk County, and we look forward to Gerald leading our team onto the field at Nassau Coliseum this coming season. June 7th, we open the season in Danbury against the Danbury Diesel. And then the home opener is on Saturday, June 14th, against the New Jersey Ciphers at Nassau Coliseum, 6:05. I can't even say kickoff because there's no kicking, so it's a throw-off at 6:05.
The Ciphers?
Ciphers. New Jersey Ciphers.
When I think of
Ciphers.
When I think of Scyther, I think of the Pokemon.
No, you're not pronouncing it right. Ciphers.
Cypher?
Ciphers.
Cypher.
Well, you could look it up online. You can see. I think it's like an owl is their logo. Of course, I'm biased. I think we have the best name and the best logo in the league. I mean, there's only 4 teams, but I think we have the best. And all 4 teams, by the way, named their head coaches on Tuesday. So we had Gerald all locked up for a couple of weeks. We knew about it, but we weren't permitted to announce that until Tuesday, when all 4 teams simultaneously announced their head coaches. But, like I said, I'm all about the Dragons, and I think we got the best one. So there you go. Let's raise that banner. New York Dragons. Are you ready to play Stump the Wiz?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. As I mentioned before, as you know, I get these feelings every now and then. By the way, will you be there on opening night, June 14th?
Definitely.
Okay. You don't have any other plans?
I'll make sure that there are no plans.
Make sure you clear your schedule. Tony's going to clear his schedule too. Okay. I'd love to have you both at the game.
We will.
Okay.
Do I have to pay to enter?
It depends on your performance between now and then.
Okay.
I mean, it also depends on, like, if I make you pay, it depends what tickets are available, because right now tickets are flying. Well, these season tickets are. We haven't put individual tickets on sale yet.
Okay.
Where would you like to sit?
I don't care.
Well, you have to care. I mean, you're going to a football. Where would you like to sit?
Well, whatever.
Do you prefer to sit? Don't tell me 50-yard line, because there is no 50-yard line. It's a 25-yard line.
I was going to say somewhere up close.
Up close?
Yeah, up close.
Like on the bench?
Wherever.
Okay. We'll get you good seats.
Thank you.
I promise.
Appreciate it.
You know important people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tony, do you have a preference to where you're sitting opening night?
I'm just happy to be there, baby.
There you go. Thank you. See, that was the answer I was looking for. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah,
just want to be in the building.
Of course. I would love to be in the building, too.
Okay. Do you want to be the mascot?
Ooh.
We're waiting on the mascot and announcing that soon, too.
Sure, that'd be fun.
It will not be Sparky, because people have been asking me that question. We were able to borrow Sparky for the logo reveal. It was very nice of the Islanders. And by the way, speaking of Sparky and the Islanders, many, many thanks to the entire Islanders organization, including Julia Pecora from the Partnerships office. She had us, invited me and Marilyn Rich, our Director of Business Development, and also our Director of Operations, Sean Wachter. We were at the Islander game as the Islanders guests last night. We had great seats right down by the ice. We had access to a club to go get some great food. So we thank them, and the Islanders have been great to us. And one thing I said on social media today, in thanking the Islanders for last night, of course, we are playing in the Islanders' old home. And as I mentioned to Gerald before, we plan on and anticipate hanging a banner in the Islanders' old home very, very soon. That is the plan.
That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be great?
I would love a banner of like maybe the original Dragons too. That'd be fun.
Well, come on June 14th and you'll see what happens.
Oh, nice.
Come on June 14th. Well, I have a lot of things in store on opening night. We'll see.
Any ideas for what the new mascot's name would be?
Spooky?
I feel like it would have to be something fire-related again for the Dragon.
Well, it could be a relative of Sparky. So Sean Wachter, our director of operations, has come up with the name Spooky.
I was thinking Cinder could be nice.
Cinder?
Yeah, like a cinder.
Like
a
Noah
flame.
Syndergaard?
No, like cinder, like a flame.
Glenn, hold on, okay?
Well, you had Sparky. Cinder could also be one.
Well, I'll take that under advisement. Okay, let's get to Stump the Wiz. What we do every week is we ask you to DM your best sports trivia question to Sports Bash Media's social media channels. If we pick your question and you stump the Wiz, you will win a prize. Today's prize is a VIP field suite for a 2025 New York Dragons home game at Nassau Coliseum.
Awesome.
And by the power invested in me as the general manager, I have my own suite for each game, but I can also, at my level of need, can give a suite to someone who's deserving. And if this person stumps you today, this person's going to have a suite for a game. And he can pick whatever game he wants.
Sounds cool.
Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
And he's on the line because we're going to talk to him after
the
question.
Awesome.
He's on the line. Not yet, but we're going to get to him afterward. We'll get a reaction either way as to how this works out.
Mm-hmm.
Today's contestant is our good friend, loyal listener and viewer, Glenn Goldstein from Flushing.
Awesome.
And here is his question. Name the team in each of the 4 major sports. You went really from smiling to stern look on your face in 2 seconds. Name the team in each of the 4 major sports with the longest current drought of not winning a division title. Again, name the team in each of the 4 major sports with the longest current drought of not winning a division title. Tony, do you have 2 minutes on the clock?
I do.
Tony has 2 minutes on the clock, and away we go.
So, but how are you?
Go ahead. Today's contestant, Glenn Goldstein, wants to know the team in each of the 4 major sports with the longest current drought of not winning a division title.
Well, the Browns for the NFL.
That's one.
That's one. NBA, if I recall, I know the Charlotte Hornets have never won a division
That is
title.
number 2.
I know that also when it comes to the NHL, the LA Kings have not won a division title since the 90s.
Well, that is not correct. You got 2 out of the 4. Tony, you told me he was going to get 2 out of 4.
I did.
And he got 2 relatively quickly.
What other ones? Well, both the Marlins and the Rockies have never won a division title in their
You
history.
got number 3. 3 down, 1 to go.
Now what?
115.
Now what other team?
Now Glenn Goldstein is sweating.
Okay.
Because he was pretty confident in sending this in that he was going to get the suite.
Now what team has not won a division title? Has not won a division title in a long time? Well,
So there's only one team that you got left.
1 minute.
Well, no, the Winnipeg Jets, as the Thrashers, won a title in 2007. The reason why I was thinking of, let's see, not the Canucks. No.
I was stunned that this was actually the answer for the NHL.
Oh, yeah?
I was stunned.
Okay.
No, the Wild won a division title. So,
Yeah.
Blue Jackets have not won a division title in their history, but like I said, the Kings last won a title longer, so it was a bit. Maple Leafs obviously won a title.
30 seconds.
30 seconds to
Obviously,
go.
Bruins have. Obviously, the Penguins and the Flyers and the Capitals and the. I think it's the Islanders.
That's not correct.
Wow, even longer for them.
The Islanders last won a division title in 1988.
So even longer than that.
So longer than that, yeah.
Wow.
Not much longer than that.
The
10
Stars
seconds.
won a title.
10 seconds to
division
go.
title. Let's see. Blues obviously did. Blackhawks obviously did.
Tony?
3
Maple Leafs
seconds.
obviously won a title. Senators obviously won a title.
Done.
That's
Time is
it. Glenn Goldstein from Flushing has stumped the Wiz. The answer we were looking for the NHL 1987 Edmonton Oilers.
Really?
Which absolutely floored me. I had to
I'm
actually
stunned.
When Glenn sent me the question, I said, "Are you sure about this? Let me check."
I'm
I
shocked.
went to Wikipedia, which of course you can't always confirm, but he did send me proof, and that is because the Islanders won the Patrick division in '88, and it was all the good teams that the Oilers have had recently with Connor McDavid. They have not won the division.
Even
title.
then, like I was mentioning the Kings too, because they've had more championships than division titles. Only one division title.
Yeah.
And granted, that since they went from like 3 divisions in each conference to 2, it's less likely. And granted, just because you win a division title doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win it. Like the Anaheim Ducks have 6 division titles.
Yeah. Well, it means nothing unless you're hoisting the Stanley Cup at the end of the year too.
Well, yeah, that's why it's kind of confusing.
Here is the man of the hour, the man who has stumped the Wiz on this Thursday, Glenn from Flushing. Glenn, welcome to the show.
Hey.
Congratulations, my friend.
I appreciate it. Excellent try.
Hey, that's a good one.
Wiz, yes. Thank you. Yeah, I always keep an eye on these trivia questions, and I kind of forgotten that one. I would have asked you earlier. But I'm going to unleash the dragon. Yeah.
Yes, you are, and you're going to see some fire-breathing football. You just have to let me know which game you want to go to, and we will get you a suite for 8 people on the field.
Wow.
I am so excited.
Glenn, do you know 8 people?
You know what? I got to count on my fingers when my mom. Yes. Oh, this is very nice. Thank you. Yeah, we wanted to go to the Coliseum and see you, and now, I tell you, my birthday is on the 15th, and opening night the 14th. This might work out perfectly.
Well, there you go. So now we're going to have to put a happy birthday Glenn on the Jumbotron.
Awesome.
Oh, baby, yes. Again, though, I want to bow my hat to the Wiz. You are excellent.
Thank
Keep
you, Glenn.
up the good work.
Thank you.
I always enjoy your banter with Peter. He kind of ribs you a little bit, but
I'm okay with it. Don't worry.
Nature.
Glenn, I can't let you go without a little quick synopsis of your thoughts on the Mets coming into 2025.
Yes, I woke up with a smile on my face this morning saying, let's go Mets. This is going to be very exciting. We're definitely going to make the playoffs. Now, what happens from there, we'll see. Obviously, like everybody else, I'm a little worried about the pitching. I think Sal Licata had said it yesterday. He looks at the pitching staff on paper, not overly impressive. You never know from year to year. But I will say we go to the World Series. Whether we win or lose, we'll see. And I got one other bone to pick with America, and I know you're on my side with this, Peter. Tomorrow night, the Mets are on Apple TV. I got to buy Apple TV. I mean, what the heck is this? Amazon, Roku, God help me. Vinny, you're young. How can I get the game free tomorrow? Is there some website, or maybe your son Bradley can?
Oh, I can tell you right now, Bradley. Let me huddle up with Bradley later on, and he always finds a way to watch these games on some fakakta website. So we will get that for you later today.
That'd be great, because then I could save a little money. Because then I'm going to have to, buy Amazon for the basketball season next year, probably. Unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
Wait, you don't have an Amazon account?
I have Amazon.
I'm talking to Glenn. I'm shocked.
Oh, no, actually, no, I was thinking of something else. Amazon we have.
Oh,
yes,
Peacock, they're going to be on too, probably, because they had a deal with Comcast. And,
that's the one.
Like, outside of the TED series, like, what else do people... I don't know what else people really watch on Peacock.
Well, I can tell you right now, I've got to have to get that HBO Max this summer to see the Billy Joel documentary, as Tony told me about yesterday. So
right, and also, for your listeners, the current thing on HBO Max, the Celtic Dynasty, I think it's also on HBO. Excellent.
Yeah, that one's good.
Oh, my God. It's called Celtic City.
Oh, okay.
And it is a great watch. It's like 5-6 parts. And, as much as it hurts us Knicks fans to think about the 80s, Larry Bird was, oh, my God.
Yeah. I went to the Knicks game with my family the other night, Glenn. We went to the win.
Heard.
We went to the win over Dallas the other night. Had a blast.
That's great. Yeah, I know.
Well,
that place has no leg room.
Yeah, my knees.
I hate that.
I'm telling you, my knees are still killing me. I had great seats at the Islander game last night with plenty of leg room, but my knees 2 days later are still killing me. I think I'm going to have to ice them down like Kareem used to do.
I know. These places, they put in more seats. You pack like sardines. I could have went to some St. John's games this year at the Garden. I was uncomfortable. I said, no, I'm not going.
I like, to be honest with you, listen, I understand why St. John's moved games there, but I love going to Carnesecca Arena.
Yeah, well, that's kind of obviously a little tight as well, but,
I just like the feel there better. Well, listen, I'm going to give you plenty of leg room at the Dragons game, whichever one you want to go to, because you got a field suite.
It is so awesome. Thank you, Peter, and continued success. I'm watching every moment as much as I can of your Instagram with the press conference. I watched some of it. I don't know if it's still available.
You can watch it on Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, trying to watch that again because I didn't really get to see. Only after you got up and talked about the horrendous referee thing when the Islanders.
It still annoys me. But hey, listen, we got to run. Tony's going to get the ruler out and hit my fingers because I'm going to go overtime here.
Yeah, well, Tony's going to be like the new indoor football star. He doesn't have to work.
Yes. We're going to find some role for him.
Throw in a free autograph when he comes to the game.
Happy opening day, everybody.
All right, take care, Glenn.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Wiz, this week in sports history.
Well, this week in 1990, then U.S. President George H.W. Bush, Herbert Walker, in case anyone's curious, is what it means, was possibly awarded legendary track and field star Jesse Owens the Congressional Gold Medal. Everyone knows him as one of the greatest track and field athletes of all time. In fact, USA Track and Field's highest honor is the Jesse Owens Award, but most know him as when in 1936 for the Olympics in Berlin, Germany, he won 4 gold medals: the long jump, the 4x100 meter relay, the 100 meter, and the 200 meter. He also broke like 4 records in 1935 at a Big Ten meetup, and that's considered one of the greatest, performances by a track athlete of all time. And while in Berlin, he proved unequivocally Hitler's idea of Aryan supremacy.
Did you forget a syllable there too?
Unequivocally.
Unequivocally, right?
Unequivocally.
Tony, want to help out with that?
No.
But she wants to get out of here.
That's okay.
Let me get to the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. We post a new poll question every Tuesday and Thursday. Well, this week we did it yesterday, so normally Tuesday and Thursday on the Sports Bash Media X/Twitter page. What is your favorite ballpark food? And I posted this question earlier today, and there's been a runaway winner so far. The choices are hot dog, hamburger, chicken fingers, or other. Comment below. And just before I go around the room to everybody, let me just go see what it's even more than before. Hot dog is currently the leader at 74%. Chicken fingers, 16%. Hamburger, 2%. And here's, again, you have to pay attention to the rules. Other, comment below, means you have to comment below. 8% picked other, but I only got one response, and that was ice cream in a helmet. So let's go around the room. We'll start with Wiz. Hot dog, hamburger, chicken fingers, or other. Comment below. Or just comment to me.
Other, comment below, and that would be back when I was in Truist Park, back when it was called SunTrust, to a Braves Nationals game when I was in Atlanta. I had these ice pops, these popsicles. I think it was called King of Pops.
Can you give me like real food?
Well, when I was
like ice pop, does ice pops constitute ballpark food?
No,
no, you have to pick an item.
Well, while I was in Pittsburgh, I had the Capicola Primanti Brothers.
What is that?
Capicola, it's like a sliced ham. Oh, Primanti, the sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's like Capicola. It's like cheese and they have French fries in it. It's phenomenal. And it's only I think it was only like $8 too. It was a steal. You got to go to PNC Park. It was phenomenal. Like the entire stadium was breathtaking.
Okay. All right. Tony?
Hot dog, baby. Come on.
Hot dog.
Come on.
Hot dog.
Well, in terms of the traditional ones out of the 3, yeah, it would be hot dog.
Yeah. I mean, there's no shortage of choices now at these games. You've been to these food tastings, and last week at the Yankee thing, I had that pastrami sandwich, which I can't wait to have at a Yankee game again.
No mustard.
This year. But I think, what's that?
No mustard.
No mustard. No, you pay attention. Very good. Yeah, no mustard. No, but listen, the hot dog, how do you go to a game without having a hot dog? Even if you've eaten your main course that day, you have to wash it down with a hot dog. There's no, right?
Wash it down.
Yeah, you wash it down.
Wouldn't it be like with water, like a liquid?
No, you wash it down with a hot dog.
Oh.
If you go and you have like a whole thing of chicken tenders and French fries, like before the game or in the first couple innings, you have to go back to the concession stand in like the 7th or 8th inning and get a hot dog.
Ah.
That's the right? Am I wrong?
Just have to have the hot dog somewhere in the game.
So there's got to be a hot dog.
Simple.
There's got to be a hot dog somewhere in there. So thank you to everybody who voted in the poll. Thursday, April 24th, Marty Lyons Foundation, 5th annual NFL Draft Party at Great South Bay Brewery in Bay Shore. I will be, for the 5th consecutive year, the MC and the host. So a lot of former Jet players will be there. Of course, Marty will be there. He is the guest of honor. Obviously, it's his foundation. So we look forward to seeing Marty there. Usual cast of characters should be there too. Bobby Jackson, Greg Buttle. They do a great job. It's a lot of fun. You'll get to see the Giants pick at 3, the Jets pick at 7. And it's just a tremendous amount of fun with raffles and other prizes. And Kenny Zor, who helps run the Marty Lyons Foundation. You see him running around with like a chicken without a head that night. I hardly even ever see him because he's so busy running around. But I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of familiar faces on April 24th, or as the NFL Draft, as I like to call it, the night where Jet fans get their hopes up. That's really what round 1 of the NFL Draft has turned out to be. That'll do it for this edition of Sports Bash. My guest, thanks you so much to New York Dragons head coach Gerald Filardi. Thanks to Tony Walker, everyone here at Governors. Big thanks to Wiz, who got stumped. Hey, can't have success all the time. That's true. He also had This Week in Sports History. Sports Bash is presented by Ticketbash.com and the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund. Sports Bash is sponsored by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, by Living Legends Memorabilia in Rockville Center, and by the Marty Lyons Foundation. For our entire crew, I'm Peter Schwartz saying thank you for watching. Sports Bash returns Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Have a great weekend. But before we go, I'll speak for Yankee fans. Let's go Yankees. And I'll let Wiz and Tony speak for Met fans.
LGM.
Let's go Mets.
Wiz, you weren't really enthusiastic there.
Let's go Mets.
Oh, my God.
Let's go Mets.
Have a good day, everybody.